Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel Top Coin, where we unlock the secrets of rare coins, hidden treasures, and surprising collectibles that might just be sitting in your pocket or coin jar right now. And today, we have something truly exciting. What if I told you that a small, copper-colored coin, worth just 2 pence in face value, could actually be worth hundreds, even thousands, of pounds today? Sounds impossible, right? But hold on to your magnifying glasses, because we're diving deep into the story of the 1988 United Kingdom 2 pence coin, a piece of metal that could turn your everyday spare change into serious cash. So grab a cup of tea, sit back, and let's uncover the incredible history, the potential hidden value, and the current market worth of the 1988 2p coin. Trust me, you're going to want to check your wallet after this one. Let's take a journey back in time. The humble 2 pence coin was introduced as part of the decimalization of British currency in 1971. It was a key part of modernizing the coinage system, and for many years, these coins were made of bronze and bore the inscription New Pence. However, in 1982, something important changed. The wording on the coin was updated from New Pence to simply 2 pence to reflect that the new system had become standard. Most 2p coins struck after that year followed this format. But then comes the 1988 issue. And here's where things get very interesting. By 1988, the Royal Mint was producing coins primarily for circulation, but also for proof sets and collectors. Most of the 1988 2 pence coins weren't actually released into general circulation. They were minted for collector sets only. That means if you have one that looks circulated or turns up in everyday change, it could be rare. Now, why does the 1988 2 pence coin stand out from the rest? Firstly, mintage numbers. Compared to earlier and later years, the 1988 version had an exceptionally low mintage for general circulation. In fact, some experts say none were released into circulation at all. Instead, they were placed into mint sets, those collector packs you see in commemorative boxes. That means that any 1988 2p coin found outside of a mint set, showing signs of wear or general use, is extremely uncommon. Collectors absolutely love this kind of anomaly, coins that should technically not be out there, but somehow have made it into public hands. These are sometimes referred to as escape coins, and they can fetch a premium. Now add to that the historical design features. On the reverse, we see the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, above the German motto, Ich diene, meaning I serve. The obverse bears the profile of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Maklauf, a portrait used between 1985 and 1997. All of these factors combine to make the 1988 2 pence coin not just another coin, but a collector's dream, rare, mysterious, and full of historical significance. Now let's talk money. After all, that's why you're here, right? If you have a 1988 2 pence coin in uncirculated condition, meaning it's been well preserved, probably from a mint set, it might be worth between £1 and £5 depending on condition and demand. Not bad for a 2p coin. But if you're holding a circulated 1988 2p, things get a whole lot more exciting. Because the general consensus is that these coins shouldn't even exist in the wild, a circulated 1988 2p could fetch £50, £100, or even more from the right collector, especially if it's authenticated and graded. Some high-grade examples in mint condition with certification have sold for over £200, and that's just the beginning. And guess what? There are dealers and eBay sellers listing them for £500 and even £1,000, hoping to snag a collector who's been searching for years. While not every listing sells for those prices, the fact that people are willing to pay says everything you need to know about how hot this coin has become. The coin market is always changing, and rarity isn't the only factor. Demand, current trends in collecting, and even the broader economy can influence coin prices. Right now, there's been a surge in interest in older British coins, especially those tied to Queen Elizabeth II's reign. Since her passing, collectors have been eager to complete sets from her long period on the throne. This increased demand has pushed prices higher for coins like the 1988 2p, which not only carries historical weight, but is also from a low mintage, transitional period. Sites like eBay, NUMISMATICS, and various auction houses show a steady increase in listings and sales. And as more collectors become aware of its rarity, Prices are likely to keep rising. It's a classic case of supply and demand. The supply is limited, and the demand is growing. So, how do you check if your 1988 2-pence coin is valuable? Step 1. Check the date. Make sure it says 1988 clearly on the obverse, below Queen Elizabeth's portrait. Step 2. Look at the condition. Is it shiny and uncirculated? That means it likely came from a mint set, still valuable, but more common. Is it worn, scratched, or obviously used? That could make it rare, since circulated examples are not supposed to exist. Step 3. Check for errors. Any minting error, misstrike, double die, off-center design, can multiply the value several times over. And finally, compare it online. Check eBay listings for completed sales, not just asking prices. Look at auction house records. And if you're serious, consider sending the coin to a professional grading service like NGC or PCGS to get it authenticated. So there you have it. A tiny 2-pence coin from 1988 that could be worth far more than its face value. With its low mintage, unusual circulation status, and growing collector demand, it's a perfect example of why you should never overlook the loose change in your home. If you've got one, hold on to it, get it checked, and maybe even cash in. And if you don't, start looking. You never know when one of these hidden gems will turn up in a pocket, purse, or old coin jar. Well, what if I told you that a humble 2-pence coin from 1993, yes, that tiny copper-plated coin you've probably walked past 100 times, could actually be worth a lot more than you'd expect? In today's video, we're diving deep into the history, rarity, and true market value of the 1993 United Kingdom 2-pence coin. So grab your coin jars, because you might just be sitting on a small fortune. To truly appreciate the 1993 2-pence coin, we need to go back to where it all began. The 2-pence coin was first introduced in the United Kingdom in 1971, during the historic decimalisation of the British currency system. This was the year when the UK shifted from pounds, shillings, and pence to the decimal system we know today. The new coins came in to replace the old denominations, and among them was the bronze 2p coin. Back then, the 2-pence coin featured the phrase "new pence" to indicate its place in the new decimal system. That continued until 1982, when the design was updated to say 2 pence instead. Fast forward a bit to 1992, and another significant change occurred. The material used for the coin was switched from bronze to copper-plated steel. Why? Rising metal costs. Bronze was getting expensive, so the Royal Mint opted for a more affordable material. Now, enter the year 1993. At first glance, the 1993 2-pence coin might not look very special. It still carries the same iconic design, the badge of the Prince of Wales with the feathers, the coronet, and the German motto, Ich diene, meaning I serve. On the obverse side, it bears the profile of Queen Elizabeth II, as designed by Raphael Maklauf. A design that was in use from 1985 to 1997. But what sets the 1993 2p apart isn't necessarily what's on the surface, it's what lies beneath. Both literally and historically, 1993 was one of those years where not many 2p coins were needed for general circulation. As a result, the Royal Mint produced a limited number of these coins, mostly for collectors' sets and proof coin collections. That means if you have a genuine circulation strike 1993 2-pence coin, you're already holding something that wasn't produced in large quantities. Rarity, as we all know, is the lifeblood of collectability. The fewer of something that exists, the more valuable it becomes, especially in pristine condition. Now let's talk money. How much is a 1993 2-pence coin worth today? While your average 2p coin is only worth, well, 2 pence, certain years, especially low mintage years like 1993, can fetch much more on the collector's market. Uncirculated or proof versions of the 1993 2p coin can sell for several pounds, even tens of pounds depending on their condition and presentation. And if you happen to have a coin that's been graded by a professional service and preserved in near-mint condition, the value can climb significantly higher. In some rare cases, collectors have paid upwards of £20 or more for a flawless, uncirculated 1993 2-pence coin. That's 1,000 times its face value. That's the power of numismatic rarity combined with excellent condition. And that's not even considering any potential minting errors, which we'll get into in a moment. Every now and then, something goes wrong in the minting process. Maybe a die was misaligned. Maybe a planchet had a flaw. Maybe the coin was struck twice by accident. These are called minting errors, And in the world of coin collecting, they can turn an ordinary piece into a highly sought-after gem. While there are no widely confirmed major errors for the 1993 2p coin, it's always worth checking for things like off-center strikes, doubling of the letters, or missing elements. Even small anomalies can attract serious attention from collectors who specialize in error coins. And if yours is one of those unusual few, it might be worth hundreds, depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error.so. Now you're probably wondering, how do I know if my 1993 2p coin is valuable? Here's a quick checklist. First, check the date. Obviously, it needs to say 1993. Next, look at the condition. Is the detail still sharp? Are there scratches or corrosion? If it looks uncirculated, meaning it hasn't been used in everyday transactions and shows minimal to no wear, that's a good sign. Now, grab a magnet. If the coin sticks, it's made of copper-plated steel. If it doesn't, it's possibly bronze, and that's even more interesting. While most 1993 coins should be copper-plated steel, any off-metal errors would be incredibly rare. Finally, consider getting your coin graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. A certified coin carries more weight on the market and gives buyers confidence in its authenticity and condition. As of this year, the interest in decimal coins is growing. With the passing of Queen Elizabeth II and the introduction of King Charles III's coinage, more and more people are revisiting older coins, either out of nostalgia or in search of investment opportunities. The 1993 2p coin is particularly appealing to collectors looking to complete year-specific sets. That means demand is increasing, and when demand goes up while supply stays low, prices follow. On online auction sites like eBay, a circulated 1993 2p might fetch anywhere from 50p to a few pounds. But uncirculated examples can sell for £10 to £30 or more. Proof versions, especially if still in original Royal Mint packaging, can go for even more, depending on the buyer.so. Here's your mission. Go check your coin jar. Look through that old drawer. Check that box of stuff you inherited from your grandparents. Because tucked away in a forgotten corner, you might just have a 1993 2p coin. And if it's in great condition or part of a proof set, it could be worth more than just a couple of pennies. And if you're a budding collector, start looking for these overlooked modern coins. Because often, the real treasures aren't gold or silver, they're the common coins that no one paid attention to. Until now. What if I told you that a humble 2p coin, something most of us wouldn't think twice about, could actually be worth far more than its face value? That's right. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story behind the 1996 United Kingdom 2p coin. A coin that may look ordinary at first glance but holds a unique history, collectible intrigue, and for some lucky holders, unexpected value. So don't blink, because you might just discover you've had a hidden gem in your change jar all along. Let's explore the coin's history, what makes it special, what to look for, and how much it could fetch in today's collector market. Stick around till the end for tips on selling, spotting rare errors, and knowing whether your 1996 2p coin is the real deal or just pocket change. A brief history of the 2p coin. To truly appreciate the 1996 version, we need to travel back to the origins of the 2p coin in the UK. The 2p coin was first introduced in 1971 during Decimal Day, a landmark event when the UK officially switched from pounds, shillings, and pence to the decimal system. The coin formed part of a brand new decimal series, with the familiar copper-plated look and the inscription "New Pence" on earlier issues. But by 1982, that changed. The wording switched from "New Pence" to simply "2p", a small but symbolic alteration, signifying that the decimal currency had become fully integrated into British life. The 2p coin was now an established part of the coinage system. By 1996, the coin had already undergone years of minting with millions in circulation. So what makes the 1996 version stand out? Why do collectors still talk about it? The design and details of the 1996 coin. Let's take a closer look at the coin's design. The obverse, or head's side, features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II as designed by Raphael Maklauf. This was the third definitive portrait of Her Majesty used on UK coinage, showing her crowned and facing right. The lettering around the edge reads Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 1996 inch, a Latin abbreviation meaning by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. On the reverse side, we see the iconic badge of the Prince of Wales, a trio of ostrich feathers encased in a coronet, with a ribbon below bearing the motto ICH Dine, which means I serve. This heraldic symbol dates back centuries and has been used on 2p coins since their inception. Now here's where it gets interesting. While this design was standard, certain production quirks, rare mint errors, and lesser-known varieties have caused the 1996 version to gain attention among numismatists, those who study and collect coins. The minting process and scarcity. So, how many of these coins were made? In 1996, the Royal Mint struck a staggering number of 2p coins for general circulation, tens of millions, to be exact. On the surface, that would suggest the coin is extremely common. And yes, most 1996 2p coins are indeed still worth 2p. But as with any mass-produced item, not all coins are created equal. Some batches were struck with slight errors. These might include off-center strikes, die cracks, doubled letters, or even slight metal composition anomalies. Coins with such errors can sell for much more than their face value, sometimes into the tens or even hundreds of pounds depending on the severity and rarity of the flaw. And here's another twist. There's a difference between business strike coins, the ones used in everyday transactions, and brilliant uncirculated coins or those in special collector's sets. The ones that never saw circulation, kept in pristine condition, can also command higher prices from collectors looking for a perfect example of this year's mintage. The coin market today. What's it worth? Now to the question everyone wants answered. What is a 1996 2p coin actually worth today? For a standard, circulated coin with no errors or unusual features, the value is, you guessed it, around 2 pence. These are not rare coins on their own, but for uncirculated or near-mint condition examples, especially those from Royal Mint coin sets, values can reach between 1 and 5 pounds depending on the condition and whether they've been preserved with care. That might not sound like a fortune, but consider this. It's more than 200 times the face value of the coin. And for those ultra-rare error coins, some verified examples have fetched between 10 and 50 pounds at online auctions. Coins with double strikes or off-metal errors can go even higher. If you're lucky enough to find one of these, you could be holding a small but significant treasure. How to identify valuable 2p coins. Here's what to look for when checking your own 1996 2p coins. Condition. The better the condition, the higher the value. Look for coins that are shiny, free of scratches, and haven't been worn down by years in circulation. Errors, double dates, misaligned text, off-center images, or abnormal thickness can all be signs of a mint error. Mint sets. Coins still sealed in Royal Mint packaging or presentation folders can be worth more than loose change. Metal type. While most 2p coins after 1992 were made of copper-plated steel, some error examples have been found in bronze, which had been phased out. Test your coin with a magnet. Copper-plated steel coins are magnetic, bronze ones are not. Selling your coin. Where and how. If you think you have a special 1996 2p coin, don't rush to your local corner shop to spend it. Instead, consider having it appraised by a reputable coin dealer or submitting it to an auction site. eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and dedicated numismatic websites all have active markets for rare coins. Be sure to photograph the coin clearly, describe it accurately, and compare with other listings to gauge interest. Remember, collectors are always on the lookout for high-quality coins, particularly those with verifiable errors or a story behind them. Conclusion. The hidden value in plain sight. So there you have it. The 1996 United Kingdom 2p coin. A seemingly ordinary piece of currency that, under the right circumstances, could be worth far more than 2 pence. It's a fascinating reminder that everyday objects can carry surprising histories and hidden value. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone who loves the thrill of discovery, keep your eyes open. Check those jars of spare change. Look closely at what might otherwise seem worthless. Because sometimes, treasure isn't buried in the ground, it's right there in your pocket. Today, we're exploring something that might be sitting unnoticed in your change jar or at the bottom of your old wallet, the humble 2004 United Kingdom 2p coin. At first glance, it might look like any ordinary copper coin, but what if I told you this coin could be worth far more than just 2 pennies? That's right. This small copper-plated steel coin may hold a story of rarity, minting quirks, and collector demand that could make it surprisingly valuable. So grab a cup of tea, sit back, and stay tuned, because we're about to unpack the hidden history, production secrets, and current market value of the 2004 2p coin from the United Kingdom. Let's rewind the clock and talk about where this coin came from. The 2p coin, or 2p, was introduced in the UK in 1971 as part of the decimalisation of British currency. It replaced the older system of shillings and pence, simplifying transactions for the modern age. Originally, these coins were made from bronze, but starting in 1992, due to rising metal costs, the Royal Mint switched to a copper-plated steel composition, which made the coins magnetic. The 2004 issue belongs to this era of copper-plated steel coins. It features the Maklauf portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, that's the side with the Queen's effigy, and the familiar badge of the Prince of Wales on the reverse, complete with the motto, Ich diene, which means I serve in German. Millions of these coins were minted, but here's the twist. Not all 2p coins are created equal. Now you might be wondering, if millions were made, why are we even talking about this coin? Great question. The 2004 2-pence coin might not be classified as rare in the strictest sense, but several factors give it potentially collectible status. First, we have to consider mint errors. Some 2004 2p coins are known to have misstrikes, off-center printing, or die cracks. These types of errors can push a coin's value from mere pennies to tens or even hundreds of pounds, depending on severity and collector demand. Another unique point. There have been reports of non-magnetic 2p coins from this year. Remember, all coins after 1992 should be magnetic due to the steel core. If you come across a non-magnetic 2004 2p coin, it could have been struck on an old bronze blank, and that's something coin collectors get very excited about. Furthermore, condition matters. A 2004 2p coin in uncirculated condition or graded by a third-party service like PCGS or NGC can be worth significantly more than its face value. Coins in mint or proof condition can attract collectors who are completing sets or looking for high-quality examples of this issue. Now let's talk numbers. What is a 2004 2p coin actually worth? If it's a standard issue and shows signs of wear from circulation, the value is generally going to hover around its face value, which is of course 2 pence. However, if it's in pristine condition, meaning it has never been circulated, shows no scratches or signs of wear, it might fetch £1 to £5 from an eager collector. For error coins, the value skyrockets. Misstruck or off-center 2p coins from 2004 have been known to sell for anywhere from £10 to over £100, depending on rarity and buyer interest. And here's the kicker. If you somehow have a 2004 2p coin struck on a bronze planchet, or one that's non-magnetic, that coin could be worth hundreds of pounds, maybe even more at auction. Especially if authenticated by a reputable grading service. Let's shift gears and talk about what's happening in today's coin market. Coin collecting, or numismatics, has been gaining popularity, particularly with younger collectors entering the scene thanks to platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. As more people get into the hobby, demand for unique or rare coins is climbing. Online auction sites like eBay and specialized coin marketplaces regularly show completed sales of 2004 2p coins going for well above face value, especially when they're in mint condition or feature errors. And as the Royal Mint continues to reduce mintages and experiment with new coin designs, older coins, even those just a couple decades old, are becoming more desirable to collectors aiming to complete their collections. This means the 2004 2-pence coin, though not rare in the traditional sense, is becoming increasingly valuable to niche collectors, especially those focusing on error coins or coin composition variants. So, how do you know if your 2004 2p coin is worth anything? Start with a magnet test. Take a regular fridge magnet and see if your coin sticks. If it doesn't, you may have a rare non-magnetic bronze example. Next, examine it under bright light or a magnifying glass. Look for signs of errors, double lettering, off-center strikes, odd shapes, or cracks in the coin. These are telltale signs that you might have something special. If you suspect it's valuable, consider submitting it to a coin grading service or asking for a professional appraisal from a reputable dealer. Some collectors also use coin forums and online communities to get second opinions. So there you have it. The 2004 2-pence coin from the United Kingdom might seem like pocket change at first, but in the world of numismatics, it could be worth a lot more than meets the eye. Whether it's a rare error, an unusual metal composition, or just a pristine example of a well-loved coin, it's always worth taking a closer look at the coins you carry every day. You never know. That dusty old 2p coin in your drawer could be your next treasure. If you enjoyed this deep dive, give the video a like, comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin, and don't forget to subscribe for more coin history, collecting tips, and hidden gem discoveries from the world of currency. Today, we're diving deep into the world of British coinage. And not just any coin. We're talking about a little copper-colored coin you've probably seen 100 times and maybe even tossed into a jar without a second thought. But what if I told you that one of these coins, a 2-pence coin from 2005, might be worth much, much more than its face value? Yes, that simple 2p coin sitting at the bottom of your drawer could be hiding a surprising secret. Stick with me, because you might just be sitting on a tiny treasure. Let's break it all down. The history, the design, the hidden rarities, and of course, what collectors are actually paying right now in the current market. Trust me, you don't want to miss a second of this. To truly understand the value of the 2005 2-pence coin, we have to take a journey back in time. The United Kingdom introduced the 2-pence coin in 1971 as part of the decimalisation process, when the British monetary system shifted from pounds, shillings, and pence to a simpler structure based on powers of 10. From its first minting in the early 1970s, the 2p coin has remained a mainstay of British currency. Though small in value, it carries a rich heritage. It was originally made from bronze, then later switched to a copper-plated steel composition starting in 1992. The coin's reverse design, that instantly recognizable badge of the Prince of Wales with its 3 ostrich feathers, a coronet, and the German motto Ich diene, which means I serve, is more than just decoration. It's a nod to deep royal traditions dating back centuries. Now, fast forward to 2005, a year that, at first glance, doesn't seem extraordinary in the world of coin collecting. Millions of coins were minted. But, as with many collectibles, the devil is in the details. Let's get into why this coin, among so many others, is stirring up excitement in the collecting world. While the Royal Mint produced a massive number of 2-pence coins in 2005, what has drawn attention is not just the volume. It's the potential for rare errors, metal inconsistencies, and highly collectible variants that slipped through unnoticed at first. One of the most talked about factors is the possibility of misstruck coins, wrong planchet errors, or coins that show signs of die clashes, double striking, or off-centering. Some 2005 2p coins have appeared with unusual toning, unexpected magnetic properties, or even being struck on a bronze blank by mistake, a metal combination phased out years earlier. These are the types of variations that ignite the hearts of collectors. Another key point of interest is condition. Most circulated coins suffer from wear and tear, scratches, discoloration, and general loss of detail. But a 2005 2p in brilliant uncirculated or mint state condition, that's another story. If you happen to have one of those, with sharp edges, flawless luster, and no signs of wear, it could be worth far more than 2 pennies. Let's take a closer look at the design. On the obverse, or head side, we see the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. It's a bold and iconic depiction, used on UK coins from 1998 through 2015. Pay close attention to the lettering and spacing. Misalignments, double lettering, or blurring could indicate a rare die error. On the reverse, the badge of the Prince of Wales remains dominant. Look for clean, crisp lines, especially around the feathers and the crown. If the coin seems unusually thick, unusually thin, or slightly misshapen, you may be holding an error coin, and that can mean big money. Also check the color and weight. Is it magnetic? A genuine 2005 2p should be magnetic because it was struck on copper-plated steel. If yours isn't, it might have been struck on an older bronze blank, and that would be a serious rarity. Now, let's talk numbers, because at the end of the day, that's what many of you are here for. What's this coin really worth? Well, a standard 2005 2-pence coin in circulated condition typically sells for 2 pence. Yes, unfortunately most of them are just that, face value. But here's where things get interesting. If you have a 2005 2p in brilliant uncirculated condition, it could be worth between £1 and £5, depending on demand. If it's graded and slabbed by a professional service, especially at MS65 or higher, that price can climb even further. But here's the kicker. If you've got a rare error coin from 2005, the kind we mentioned earlier, it could be worth £50, £100, or even more. Coins with minting errors have sold on eBay and at coin auctions for serious amounts. Some unusual specimens have fetched over £150, particularly if verified and authenticated. Collectors are always on the hunt for specific errors or unique attributes. If you find a 2005 2p coin that has the wrong metal, doubling on the letters, or some sort of minting anomaly, don't spend it. Investigate it. Better yet, get it appraised by a numismatist or send it for grading. So maybe you're wondering, where can I check the value or sell my coin? The best places are trusted auction sites like eBay, specialist coin auction houses in the UK like Warwick, and online communities such as the Royal Mint forums or Facebook collector groups. Before selling, take clear, high-quality photos of both sides of the coin in good lighting. Highlight any unusual features. If your coin is in pristine condition or displays a visible error, you'll attract attention from serious collectors. If you want to buy one of these coins, either as an investment or to complete your collection, be cautious. Stick with reputable sellers and be wary of fakes. Remember, just because someone lists a coin for £500 doesn't mean it will sell. Always check sold listings and recent auctions to get a realistic idea of what people are actually paying. So, what's the verdict? Is the 2005 2p coin worth collecting? Absolutely, especially if you're someone who enjoys the thrill of hunting down hidden treasures. While most 2005 2p coins are common and hold little monetary value, there are exceptions that can surprise even seasoned collectors. Whether it's a mint error, a high-grade specimen, or just a piece of British history preserved in metal, the coin has a story to tell. And if you're already hoarding spare change, maybe it's time to take a closer look. That old jar of coins could be hiding a gem. You never know until you check. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of UK coins, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a new coin story. Drop a comment below if you found a 2005 2p coin or have a coin you'd like us to explore next. And remember, sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest value. Thanks for watching. Keep collecting, keep hunting, and stay curious. See you in the next one.